It's like I love my friends so much, and every day, like I could just be running my mouth to my friends, and I'd be like, "Ooh, maybe that's my problem." Just having somebody to speak with, especially speak with about God, and holding each other accountable, just being real. It's just such a beauty in the moments where the parts of us that aren't the best are being magnified, or that's still an opportunity for us to show that godly love to each other. And I just really appreciate that, because just having friends who understands the power of God and the power of godly love even within friendships is like, it's like a very refreshing feeling. Oftentimes in worldly friendships or even worldly relationships, we get so used to toxic. I used to be okay with it, and I'm not okay with that junk no more. That junk is foreign to me. The second you get toxic is the second I'm disappearing into the bushes. I don't even play like that. Baby. If we can't talk like adults, oh nah. I'm sorry, you lost me. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the Right Number Podcast. I'm your host, Armani LaDale. Here we talk about everything self-analyzing, reflecting, and correcting, so we can show up as our best selves every single day. And if we do it right, every single day should be a little better than the day before. So if you are new here, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. If you are a returning viewer, listener, any of that, I just want to thank you so much for watching another episode. I really appreciate you and love you. All of those things I already know. So first things first, we like to do mental health checks here. So if you could go ahead and comment down below how you are feeling today. You want to do a scale of 1 to 10. If you want to drop 3 words to describe your week so far or just your day, you can do that. But today for me, we got a new little thing. Like, I've had this for a while. My boyfriend actually got this for me on our first date. It's a self-love box. And if you guys want to participate, you guys definitely can. So instead of doing like rating your day 1 through 10 or the 3 words to describe how you're feeling, if y'all want to answer these questions with me, you can. So they have 3 different categories. It's level 1, 2, and 3. And 1 is your past, 2 is your present, and 3 is your future. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 1 first, and just ask a question and you answer it. So okay, so I pulled a reminder card. It actually says, reminder, replace that was so stupid of me with that was so human of me. Wow, that was good. That was good, because we're all human. We all mess up. We all make mistakes. We all do stuff that we wish we could have done better. So that's absolutely amazing, because we're all human. Like, ain't nobody in here perfect. Don't let nobody fool you. Okay? Talk nice to yourself. And I definitely have to work on that. All right, level 2 is our present. So it says, what are your good habits? I would say the first thing that came to my mind is the fact that when I'm like not arguing, but like having a disagreement with someone, I'm able to step outside of myself. I don't know if that's a habit, but like I really pride myself in that. Just being able to not anger so quickly, or even if I do anger quickly, not letting it show as quickly. And I'll do one more. A good habit of mine is I like to be productive. Like, being productive and organized, that like really, that's like one of my what is it, like, it like gets me hot. Like, ooh, yes girl, you own it. All right, level 3 is our future. So it says, what do you trust will work out for you? I would say for me, is my career, the podcast. Everything will work out the way God wants it to. I really hope God wants what I want, and I want what God wants, because like, I feel like I put a lot of work behind this, and I have such a passion for it, and just like learning new stuff about mental health and how I can help other people really like gets me good. Like, it really makes me feel amazing. I love learning. Like, I love learning about the brain and what brains trigger this part and what brain remember fears or the fight or flight. Like, I love what part of the brain like, I love learning all that stuff. So I just pray that works out for me, because what would I do if not this, Lord? But yes, that was our mental health check. So if you want to answer those questions, go ahead and drop your answers in the comment section below. I'll be sure to put the questions in the description box underneath this video, so y'all can see and reference it throughout the video if y'all don't want to comment right now. But segment 2, we just moving right through it, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, we're moving right through the episode. So recent reflections is our second segment. So basically, this segment is where I just talk about things that I've been reflecting on recently, something that's been on my mind, something that I've journaled about in the past week, or what have you, or just something random I picked on the day I decided to record the pod. But yeah, so this week's recent reflections is going to be on my relationship. And I'm not getting in my business, so if y'all think I'm about to get in my business, not too much. But this, just my relationship in its entirety has taught me so much about myself. Things that I thought I healed from, things that I have healed from, things that I can just see, like, where my faith has strengthened at, where I can see my patience has strengthened, where I see things that I may not even known about myself. So it's just like, it's just been such a beautiful experience, this relationship I've been in. And even like my friendships as well, like just being so present in the moment with my friendships has also taught me so much about myself, and just ways for me to improve, be a better friend, be a better girlfriend, but also being just a better human being, like being a better worker at work, being a better employee, being just the best version of myself. I would not be able to do that if I didn't have the relationship, if I didn't have the friendships, and definitely if I did not have God. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, because I recently saw a post. Well, I'm not going to say recently. I think my boyfriend sent it to me, or I sent it to him. But it was whichever. It was a post that said, relationships do not heal, they magnify. And I thought that was really deep, because I feel like there's a lot of like myths going around, or just like false perception that people have of relationships, where it's like, oh, this relationship is going to heal me, or this person is my person, he's my peace, she's my peace, and she's been healing me, and all these other things. And I feel like that's like a very common trick of the enemy, where he like puts things in replace of God. Because the fact of the matter is, like I said, the relationships only magnify parts of you, while God is the one actually healing you, while you are putting the work to actually move on from things. So I think we put our relationships and friendships and even our family members on such a pedestal, where it's like we give them all the authority to heal us, and that's not the case all the time. But like I said, that is a easy and common trick of the enemy, where he wants you to believe that all these things are what's healing you, which ultimately has us feeling like we are desiring these things, which why you see a lot of people desiring to be in relationships and staying in relationships they don't need to be in, or even idolizing relationships. And it's like, if only we understood that what we're chasing is God. And I say this all the time, but it is God. And we have to just remember that it is nobody's job to heal us besides him, with a capital H, okay? And when I'm talking about these relationships that are magnifying, again, this can be friendships, this can be romantic relationships, this can be our family dynamics, it can even be at work. Like, every aspect where there is a type of relationship present is going to magnify different parts of us, and that is either good or bad. It does not matter. It can be both, it can be one or the other, but it's definitely going to show you and others who you actually are. And a lot of times when our bad is showing, we don't like to be accountable for her or him. It's like, if only you allowed yourself to be held accountable so that you can grow, so that you can learn. But if you constantly hide this person or shield and mask over certain parts of us, we'll never be able to prosper in life. And it can go anywhere from maybe like unhealed trauma that has our defense mechanisms all wonky, or it could be just bad parts of us, deceitful parts of us, conniving parts of ourselves that may stem from somewhere else, or may have not been intended to be these things, but they are. And we get so defensive over that, or we get so sensitive on that topic that we like try to create a persona that we're this perfect person, and we're not. And then when we get into relationships and we get into friendships, or we encounter somebody who's a very accountable person and holds other people accountable, it's sometimes hard for us to accept that friendship or accept that relationship. And I feel like as I've grown in Christ and just grown as a young adult, God has helped me understand that it's okay to not be perfect. And like I wish I would have kept the card out, but like the card said, you are human. You're going to mess up. Certain things are not going to always go your way, and you're not going to always make the right decision, but that is okay. And we just have to learn to be okay with that and not push away everybody that holds us accountable, or even pull people closer in order to, I want to say, fulfill a void almost. And I can be very honest, like I did that in my last relationships. Like I would say I'm having like a bad day at work, right? I be having a bad day at work, and I gotta call my significant other because I'm having such a bad day. I just want them to I just need them to do what I need them to be God. And it's like, no. Now, these people can uplift us, they can boost our mood, but what happens when that person that you're calling to boost your energy is also not having a good day, right? And both of y'all energies are colliding and clashing, and it's just like, dang, now we have all this tension because I expected you to be my peace. I expected you to do this for me, but you're not. And it's like, yo, this person is having a bad day too. So what does that say about me? What that says about me is I don't have independence. What that says about me is I don't know how to find peace without somebody else. What that says about me, oh, no way, this thing just threw me a thumbs up, y'all. I'm sorry. But what that says it says a lot about ourselves. So I think we should also, I think that we should really focus on ourselves in relationships as opposed to always focusing on what somebody else could do for us. And I feel like the relationship that I'm in now has really allowed me to focus on myself while still being intentional with the person that I love. And this is probably the first time I've actually been in a relationship like this, where the person I'm dating isn't like selfish in a sense with me, or like very possessive over me. And I really appreciate that, because I'm not a very possessive person either. I wasn't always like this. I was not. I'm sorry, the hair flip and the little, it was giving like a completely different vibe that ain't me. I'm sorry. But anyway, I wasn't always like this, right? So I was not always able to let people be themselves or let people have their moment. I used to be very clingy, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of turned me into an avoidant in certain areas when it was kind of denied. But now I feel like it's definitely in more of a healthy setting, to where it's like, okay, you need self-care time. Okay, I want you to take your self-care time. Actually, I really want to talk to you, but you need some you time, and I need some me time. And I really appreciate the fact that in this relationship, me and my boyfriend both allow each other our personal time, and it's not like a competition, or not even a competition, but yeah, like a competition for attention. It should never feel like, oh, I'm competing for your time with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope it is. Back to what I was saying with like the enemy replacing everything, replacing God with everything but to make it seem as if we need it. I feel like a lot of places where we see that is in love, of course, drugs, and money. We use these three things so much to the point where we're trying to fulfill a void that only God can satisfy. And when I say love, just for nobody to get confused, when I say love, I'm not talking about biblical love. I'm not talking about 1 Corinthians love. No, that's not what I'm speaking on. I'm speaking on the love that we have conditioned ourselves to believe to be, if that makes sense. I'm sorry if that makes sense though. I'm not like the love that is a feeling and not necessarily the love that's a action. I feel like if we would stop using this false narrative of love, drugs, and money to fulfill those voids and actually seek out God, seek out professional help, we can enjoy the abundant and joyful life that God has planned for us, or that God has already secluded for us. But we're so busy trying to fill things with our stuff, like with worldly things. I know people say worldly a lot, and it's not always easily understandable to a lot of people, but things that is tangible to us, instead of letting the supernatural fill that void. Because the way that we will overflow, it's actually insane. And when we do that, I definitely believe that this would give us a chance to actually walk in that love that we crave, we want, or that feeling of healing. I really wholeheartedly stand 10 toes down on the fact that two people need to be quote unquote healed to be together. And I'm not saying you're going to be healed 1,000%, 100%. I'm not saying that at all, but it has to be a certain level of awareness and self-awareness and independency in a relationship. And I definitely have been in relationships where I wasn't a very a dependent type of person, but the other person wanted me to be. And I don't think that's I don't feel like that's a very healthy type of relationship. Each individual should be independent. You should have your own coping mechanism that do not involve me. You should have your own you should have your me time. You should have your own relationship with God. You cannot get to the kingdom on my back, and I cannot get to the kingdom on your back. So let's just X that out. And I think a lot of times, even whether we're talking about faith-led relationships or just worldly relationships, they both tend to clash because somebody is not independent enough. They don't have enough of themselves to be in an interdependent relationship where you guys are both independent individuals working together for the greater good. And in these faith-led relationships, I definitely believe that the interdependency should be able to happen between two independent, God-fearing people working their way up to the kingdom, aiding each other in the kingdom with both of their strengths. And where you are weak, I am strong, and where I am weak, you are strong. And I feel like the relationship that I'm in now has really shown that, to a T. Where I lack, he's there. Where he lacks, I'm there. We kind of balance each other out on several different occasions. Now, don't get me wrong, we do have times where it's just honestly, it may just be me though. I go into these moments where I get really quiet and I really don't have words for many people. So that can definitely be on me as well. But it's nowhere near draining, for one, as my previous relationships. It's nowhere near confusing. It's nowhere near doubtful, if that's even a thing. It's not. I don't have anything but faith, and I feel like God has also blessed me with the comfortability of just relationships, period. And honestly, I am gonna go a little deep. I know I said I wasn't gonna go that deep, but honestly, if y'all don't know, I was in a relationship a different relationship a few months ago, and I'm in a new one now. And honestly, it was a little quick for me. It was I was nervous what people would say. I was am I really ready? But honestly, my boyfriend allowed me time to feel my feelings. He allowed me time to get my closure. He allowed me time to seek God. He allowed me and stood there with me every step of the way. And of course, there were times where, he was feeling his own type of way, but it was never an attack on me. And I could always see it as him and not anything more than, because he never made it oh, you're making me this way. And I just really appreciated that a lot. I really appreciated that a lot, because in the time that he allowed me to heal, he was a great friend to me. In a time that he allowed me to just recover from the heartbreak or recover from the deceitfulness or the whatever, he comforted me. He was an amazing friend to me. And I feel like that is a big thing as well. I feel like that in itself made this relationship a very strong one. I feel like that in itself kind of is an example of the communication and the understanding that we both had for each other. And without God being on that, we definitely probably wouldn't have made it. And I really found comfort in God's plan. With this relationship, I realized how content and how much faith I had in God and in his plans for me. I realized that I'm going to be happy in this moment regardless. I'm going to be happy. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care about none of that. I'm happy right now. And also it helped me understand that I don't have to be in control of the relationship. And that's something that I had that was magnified for me, was that some of my control issues lied upon relationships and wanting to control the relationships. But with God allowing me to just be content and trust him, and the way that I trust him so much just with my heart is so crazy. It can almost be confused as if I'm I'm putting all my faith in my man because I have, but no, I used to do that. I have all my faith in my man. Me and my man gonna last forever. Da, da, da. I used to be like that. But now it's God, I trust you. God, whatever you want with this relationship, you're gonna make it happen. If it's supposed to be forever, it's gonna be forever. If it's not, it's not. And I'm okay with that. Now, of course, I want it to be forever. I'm putting in the work for it to be forever. And if it ever, God forbid, comes to an end, I would be heartbroken, y'all. I would be crying, boo-hooing. Y'all, Jesus cried when Lazarus died. You think I'm not going to cry when I lose my man? Okay, but I'm going to definitely still have all my faith in God, period, point blank. And I think that's the biggest difference now, because in other relationships, it was quite obvious that I was afraid to lose people. It was quite obvious that my abandon issues had taken a toll over me. So, but yeah, so I just really, this is actually a really quick episode, but I just really wanted to get on here and just share my growth. I feel like as far as just my relationships, because this is actually my first time dating a man of God, and a true man of God. He is amazing. And I just be venting on Twitter about it. I be oh, I'm so in love. Y'all coming to the wedding? y'all coming to the wedding? Oh my God. And I know a lot of times in the Christian community, it's a big thing of idolizing marriage and stuff like that. While we do plan to become engaged and get married, all of that, I definitely try my hardest not to idolize that and just make sure I'm living in the moment. I know for the most part, idolizing is if God tells you to throw it away or give it to him, will you do it? And if you can't, it's an idol. I think that's the easiest way to understand if it is or not. And I think for the most part, I've done a pretty good job at proving that it's God, whatever God wants, and we're going to make it work. And if God says no, we both know. So I'm very excited, and I'm very happy about where I'm at right now. And I just pray that I can live in his happiness for as long as God intends me to. And then upon the downfall of any type of joy that I have right now, I know that there would be another peak of happiness on the other side. So I've just been very content and very just present and appreciative in this season right now. And I wouldn't trade my boyfriend for the world. First of all, I don't want it to get sidetracked at all. I don't, all my oh, if it don't work out, it's not even if it don't work out, it's gonna work out. I can already feel it. But I just want to just share how much of a blessing and helping hand this relationship has been to my growth. And just not because my boyfriend himself is healing me. No, God is healing me. God, I think that's the one part we forget or we fail to recognize, is the God in people. It is never people. It is always God. or the enemy. So you mad, somebody make you mad, somebody testing you, somebody tempting you, figure out who it is. It's more than likely the enemy. But a lot of times when we feel these feelings of like a lot of compassion and a lot of just joy, it's pretty much God to me, because God is one, love. That is him. And what we do in our relationship is definitely the actions of love. And it's just very appreciated, and we're putting in such a good effort. And I'm just very grateful of the things that have been revealed that I can now lay on the feet of Jesus Christ, because only he can help me, only he can guide me, only he can change my heart, only he can change my mind and shift my appetite. So I just really, really appreciate that. And I don't want to only make it seem as if it's just my relationship either, because as I said earlier, it's also friendships, like the friendships that exemplify love. I really appreciate that, because my friendships are relationships in its own. I don't care what nobody say. Like, I love my friends to death. I love you to death. I'm sorry. If y'all ain't never seen that video, y'all have to go see it. But anyway, yes, like I love my friends so much, and every day, like I could just be running my mouth to my friends, and I'd be like, ooh, maybe that's my problem. Yes, like we literally be on the phone learning ourselves every single day. So just having somebody to speak with, especially speak with about God and speak with about ourselves, holding each other accountable, just being real, it's just such a beauty. And in the moments where the parts of us that aren't the best are being magnified or are being exemplified, it's only the perfect opportunity for us to exercise love to each other. And I feel like me and my friends definitely do that. When me and my friends are arguing or not seeing eye to eye or have different opinions on things, or even somebody may take it a little too far, that's still an opportunity for us to show that godly love to each other. And I just really, really, really appreciate that, because just having friends who understands the power of God and the power of godly love, even within friendships, is like, it's like a very refreshing feeling. Because oftentimes in worldly friendships or even worldly relationships, we get so used to toxic. Like, toxic has become this whole like thing, and I don't know if it's still like a trendy thing where everybody just want to be toxic and everybody just are okay with it. But I used to be okay with it, and I'm not okay with that junk no more. That junk is foreign to me. The second you give toxic is the second I'm disappearing into the bushes. I don't even play like that. Baby, if we can't talk like adults, oh nah. I'm sorry, you lost me. I love you though, but yeah, no. And like I like respect. I'm big on respect and just love. Like, you love people, you treat them a certain way, and it's okay when things don't always go your way. And I be saying that all the time too. I know I be repeating myself, but it's literally okay. Like, I had to learn that it's literally okay. You're just not for me. Like, it's okay. It's never any bad blood. And sometimes I do feel like that trait can get taken advantage of sometimes, because I'm not gonna say I don't hold grudges, because sometimes I slip up and I do. Like, I'll just, be all nonchalant about it, but it really be feeling some type of way. But I don't never like wish ill will on anybody, nor do I talk down on people. And sometimes I be questioning God. I be like, or I be like about to tweet something I be like, man, God be snatching my tongue so quick, so gripping my lips like, girl, shut up. But I do feel sometimes that it is taken advantage of. And in a world full of so much cruelty, it can be very hard to remain in the love of God with everybody you encounter, or even people that have done you wrong. But that's why it's even more important, because we are set apart. We are the people who God called to love others, who God called to love thy neighbors. So it's important that we just exercise that no matter what. And it's significantly hard. I'm not gonna lie, like it's significantly hard, and in times it'd be like weeks. Like a few weeks ago, I think I went like 2 weeks with unforgiveness in my heart, and it was taking a toll on me, boy. It was taking a toll. I felt depressed in a mug, and I had to realize that's what the depression is. When I have unforgiveness in my heart, at least for me, I had to realize that, and it took my friend telling me it sounds like you gotta forgive again. And I spoke on that in my podcast, in my vlog a little bit for July. And it just be like, dang, I'm not trying to forgive again. But it's real though, like we have to keep forgiving. And like I said, for me at least, that's when I realize when I get into like that depressive state or like that numb state, I've allowed unforgiveness back in. So that's just something that has been magnified because of my friendships, because of my relationship. And it's something that I work with God with constantly, as well as my therapist. So let's stay in therapy, guys. I'm an advocate for therapy. When I get my license, y'all know who to hit up. But no, for real, y'all, definitely go to therapy. Get some professional help. And once you realize what's going on with you, take it to God. But faith without works is dead. So I personally feel like it's God, then therapy, of course. That's your works. Go get some help, y'all. Please, just get some help. Go talk to somebody and be open and be ready to be accountable. You feel me? Because I promise you it'll change your life, first of all. I be throwing shade sometimes, but no, I promise you it would change your life. And I really would wish that everybody would just like go to therapy. My friend Alasia used to tell me, like, girl, you should just do free therapy. Take insurance, because people do not have money for therapy. Like, take all insurance. And I'm like, girl, I will. Because my therapist don't even take my insurance. And that just be throwing me off. Like, girl, what do you mean I have to pay $75? Like, what are you talking about? Anyways, okay, biblical backup, y'all. We did not do no biblical backup. I'm sorry. I'm just over here comfortable and just talking. You're just talking. So let's go. We're going to go to 1 Corinthians because let's really get into what love is, okay? All right, so 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 7, okay? Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith. It's always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. All right. And I actually recently saw a video on TikTok, and I sent it in a Bible study chat about the guy talking about godly relationships. And he was saying, love relationships are not only about replacing the word love in that scripture with your person's name, but it's also it's also about understanding that this person is human. Again, this person is human, and when they are in their humanity, are you able to keep no record of being wronged? Are you able to be kind and patient with that person while they're acting in their human? Like, I feel like, and I agree with him so much, which is like, I never really send TikToks in like that group chat, but like, I really like, wow. Because I don't think a lot of people understand the fact that just because we are in these godly relationships or what have you, it does not mean people are perfect. It does not mean that every day is going to be peaches and cream and rainbows and sunshines. And no, we are going to get on each other's nerve. I'm going to get upset, but what I won't do is disrespect you. What I won't do is dishonor you. But it's important that we just act out these ways of love in our everyday lives with the people that we love, not only in relationships, y'all. I know I keep talking about my man, but that's just because I love him. And I love my friends too, do not get me wrong. But yeah, like in all of this, like we have to be able to act these things out. And this is for friendships too. This is for our siblings, our grandparents, our parents, your kids, your cousins, your aunts and uncles. Like, it's for that love. That 1 Corinthians love is not just for a romance. It's not just for a romance. And if we practice this every single day with everybody that we love, I promise you there will be some type of character development there. I promise you. I promise you. Because I put it 10 tones down on my God. I put it, as long as your root, as long as your source is Jesus Christ, as long as you know that it is because of him, you are doing it to please him, I'm putting 10 toes down that your character gonna change. I'm putting it 10 toes down that your relationship dynamics are going to change. That these people will either grow with you or grow apart from you, and God will make room for the people that you're supposed to be around. But I'm putting all my money on Jesus. Every trip, I'm putting all my money on Jesus. All of it. On him. Y'all just be cracking myself up. But yes, okay. But yes, y'all. That is really it for today's episode. I wanted to keep it cool, calm, and just relaxing, and just a little sneak peek into my heart a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yes, if nobody has told you today, I love you so, so much. Keep being you. Keep growing. Keep evolving. No matter what anybody say, no matter who they think they are, no matter who they thought you were, you are new. Okay? I love you. Bye.